Hey there, welcome to day 2648 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Today we are talking about relationships, of course, today and tomorrow, and then we're going to wrap up relationships until probably the end of the year. We'll talk about them specifically again, but we're focusing on each area of the life framework for 1 month, and then we're moving on to another area of the life framework. Why? So we can talk about tools and strategies for really honing in on achieving what we want in each of those areas and aspects of our life. So today we're talking about the IDEANCE process, step 6, which is C for celebrate. We're talked about how do we celebrate, how do we acknowledge. To me, celebration is acknowledging something good that happened or something positive. And so how do we acknowledge those little wins along the way as we're beginning to fill the gap between where we are and where we want to be with a specific relationship that we're working on, or with any of our relationships, right? I think we need to celebrate when we're making progress and creating the relationships we want in our life, right? Because that's how we get more of that. If we celebrate what's working, if we're grateful for what is happening in our lives, we create more of those positive things happening in our lives. I didn't make this up. It's a universal law. You can study it. You can study quantum physics. You can study energy. You can study universal laws and know that people a whole lot smarter than me will tell you, because that's who I learned it from. That's how things work. That's why we want to have a positive outlook and focus on what's working in our life instead of all the negativity and crap that's going on in the world, right? That's why I quit watching the news in the 1980s. Was challenged in a training called Louis Tice training, and I don't know, I'm sure Louis Tice has long since passed away, but it was a training, a personal development training that we all really, really wanted to go to as leaders in Procter & Gamble, the first company I joined out of college. And it was an amazing week-long training, and one of the things they challenged us to do on the first day was to stop watching the news every single day. And I stopped watching it for the week, and then I just never started watching it again. Watched it a couple times during some presidential elections, but I find that that's not good for me either. Anyway, so today we're talking about how are we going to celebrate the changes in our relationships. I'm working on my relationship with my ideal clients and customers for Supersize Your Business, and I'm doing my relationship with my granddaughters for the Be a Better You Annual Challenge. And I got to have a sleepover with my granddaughters, all 3 of them on Saturday, which was super duper fun. And we did a lot of things to advance and to improve our relationships. And so I celebrated that. I definitely celebrate that. I celebrated that by getting a cough and a cold. Darn it. I said I was going to not participate this time. I missed it last time when all my granddaughters were sick and I was traveling, and I was like, I want to go see my mom. I can't get sick. And so I didn't get sick. As soon as I come home, caught the cough in about a day and a half. All right. That's all I've got today. If I can help you in any way, please hit me up and let me know. I've got a whole lot of rebuilding to do with my online businesses and my online presence. It all got shut down by some fraudsters, which I got to tell you, if you don't know it, if you don't recognize it, delete it. But keep in mind that when you report it, chances are your bank accounts are going to get shut down, and you're going to have to redo your credit cards and everything. And your Gmail or your email or your identity might get shut down, and then you have to rebuild it all. That's exactly what happened to me. I reported fraud because somebody was trying to open a PayPal in my email. And as soon as I reported it, Google shut down my Gmail account, which, of course, I had lots of my different online things tied to, you know, things that we think will never get impacted, but guess what? They can. Nowadays, I think that as corruption and things are being exposed, people are finding other more creative ways to be corrupt, which is super duper sad, right? All right, I choose to not participate in that as well. I figure it gives me an opportunity to restructure my YouTube channel, for example, which was just a hodgepodge mess where I parked videos, which have now been deleted. All my playlists disappeared. I had like 8,000 videos on there, and now I think there's only 2. So we'll see what happened to that. I just got them back yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to dig in and look and see what isn't there. I was just like, what the heck? How do I get my playlists back? Because that would be nice to have my playlists back. I had all the last 7-8 years of challenges on there in playlists. I had all the Supersize Your Business, thousands of videos in there in a playlist. I had thousands of videos on the What She Up To Now. I think we're on day 2,646, so there were at least 2,646 videos in there. So we'll see what happens and what we can recover. Otherwise, chance to start over, which, you know what? Sometimes we need that too. All right. If I can help you anyway, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.